Okay, sit yourself onto your lift. Just come into a good cross-legged position and just sit yourself on your seat bones so that it feels as though you are sitting nice and evenly. So this haziness will clear in a few moments. Just have a little wriggle about. Just feel that you're sitting evenly. Hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. So focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. So this little haziness of the screen, it kind of reminds me that we've been doing these online classes for 6 years now, which seems bonkers, doesn't it? But every year I kind of see this now as, rather than an annoyance of kind of unclear vision, it's a sign of spring coming. And the light feels clearer, doesn't it? Light feels clearer, and it just obviously sits in the sky where it shines into the lens of the webcam a little, but it's all good. It's a sign of spring is on its way. So I suppose it's the webcam equivalent of daffodils poking out the earth. So hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Look down at the floor, look at something that doesn't move. Focus on filling your lungs from the bottom to the top, and then emptying your lungs from the top to the bottom. Filling your lungs from the bottom to the top, emptying them from the top to the bottom, keeping your eyes still in the sockets. That conscious stillness of the eyes allows the brain to quieten. Release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste, and then push the palms firmly together. Lengthen from your armpits into your elbows. So this lengthen from the armpit into the elbow, to give you space in the chest. Draw the elbows in towards each other, into the heels of the hands. Feel that the horseshoe shape of the heel of the hand makes good contact all the way from the thumb to the little finger. Lengthen the fingers away from the heels of the hands. Just keep looking at something that doesn't move on the floor. Take a deep inhalation in through the nose, and with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. Keep your eyes as though they're still focused on something ahead of you. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath, keeping the eyeballs still in the sockets if you can. If you find that difficult, then draw the eyes downwards to look into the chest cavity, but without dropping the head. Draw the eyeballs down in the sockets. Feel the lungs from the bottom to the top. Feel how the chest expands to accommodate the inhalation. Exhale from the top of the lungs to the bottom. Feel the lungs from the bottom to the top bringing in energy like you open the curtains on a bright day and the light and the room fills with light. With an exhalation, draw your chin forwards and down to make contact with the chest. Lift your chest up to meet your chin. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area. And then very gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Connect the tip of the index fingers with the tips of the thumbs. Gesture of wisdom, physical intelligence, and peacefulness that we can carry into our practice as an intention. Wisdom, physical intelligence, and peacefulness. So if we head into our practice with those intentions, then we bring good energy into our practice. Wisdom, physical intelligence, and peacefulness. So raise your head, allow your eyes to open, soften the gaze. Hold onto your knees and consciously elevate the heart area to the ceiling, drawing your shoulders down. Take a deep inhalation and turn to the right with the exhalation. Drawing the abdomen from the left to the right, getting the belly button to point at that right knee and beyond it. Dig the back hand into the cushion that you're sitting on or into the floor and turn the abdomen and the ribs and the shoulders. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. As you turn, observe how your balance changes. Maybe you roll onto that right seat bone. So draw the torso directly between the two hips. Turn the abdomen, turn the ribs, turn the shoulders. And then come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, take a deep inhalation and then turn to the left. Drawing your abdomen across your ribs and your shoulders, again digging that back hand into the floor, observing the balance of the seat bones and just addressing it if you find imbalance. Physical intelligence and wisdom come from just listening to the pose. Being in the pose, not being in a rush, not trying to move out of one pose and into the next. It's about being in the pose. Come back to the center and then come off your seat bones and then sit back on your heels for a moment. Just let the legs release into the floor, let the shins stretch into the ground. Press the shin bones consciously into the shin skin so that the thighs activate. And then elevate the heart area upwards. Keep the seat bones in contact with your heels, keep your head lifted. Stretch your arms away. Keep the seat bones down on the heels. Keep the heart area lifted. And then bring the forehead down. If you lose contact between the seat bones and the heels, then put a block underneath your head first. Then try and press the seat bones down to the heels. If that doesn't work, then put a folded blanket between the seat bones and the heels. Or you can try it the other way around. Put the blanket between the seat bones and the heels first. If you can't bring your head down onto the floor, then put a block there. Otherwise, just feel the stretch from turning the tailbone in, but then lengthening from the hips into the armpits, into the elbows, the wrists, the palms, the fingers, the fingertips, the fingernails. Come up onto your knees, turn your toes under, and then come up into dog down. Get the legs to straighten, lift the seat bones, activate your thighs, activate the kneecaps, activate the thighs, lift the fronts of the thighs up towards the top of the leg, push the fronts of the thighs towards the backs of the thighs. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Spread your toes really consciously and feel that the thighs and the lowest part of the thighs activate. Keep your hands where they are, keep your feet where they are, swing the hips forwards and come up into dog, up. Turn the crease of the elbows to face the front. Push into the heels really consciously. Keep the legs away from the floor if you can. Lengthen the abdomen forwards. Lengthen the abdomen up to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, to the chin. Pushing consciously into the heels. Pushing the hands into the floor. Pushing really deeply into the heels. Feel that stretch across the abdomen and the diaphragm. And then come back up into dog down. Observe how your energy changes. Take deep inhalations like you're opening the curtains on a dark room and letting the light flood in. Okay, step your feet forwards, come up into a standing position, and then get a couple of blocks for your hands. So we're only going to use, so if you've got a bad back, or if you're uncertain of your back, then you're going to come into half uttanasana. So you can go forward with the fingertips on the blocks, stretching, lengthening firmly into the abdomen, keeping the legs really firm. Otherwise, you can do full uttanasana. So bring the feet as wide apart as the mat. Feel that your heel is on the edge of the mat. Feel that the little toe is on the edge of the mat. Feel that the big toes are turning inwards a little. The big toes are closer together than the heels. Just have a quick look down. Make sure that your toes are in line with each other. One isn't further back than the other. Just feel that the heels are touching the edge of the mat. If you're going to come into half uttanasana, come down with hands on the hips and then reach down like this. If you're coming into full uttanasana, raise your arms up. Lift your arms towards the ceiling and then hook the thumbs into the crease of the elbow. Wrap your fingers around your elbows and then keep the head lifted, keep the arms lifted, keep the back straight as you hinge at the hips, keeping those legs really firmly lifting, the kneecaps tighten, keeping the shin extending forwards, and then hang down. But keep the legs determinedly active. So the hanging down part sounds passive, but really we have to really deeply activate the legs, lifting the shins out of the ankle sockets, Lifting the kneecaps away from the shins, lifting the thigh bones away from the kneecaps, all the way up into the hip socket. And then you not just hang down, you extend the spine. So if you're in half uttanasana, you extend the spine anyway. In full uttanasana, there's still length to be found in the spine. So keep the legs deeply activated. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Have your feet change position. Just can you still feel the outer edge of the mat on the foot, on the heel? Okay, release your hands down to the floor if you're in full uttanasana, and then bring your hands into your hips, and then bend your knees on the way up if you need to. Come up into Tadasana. Just move the blocks out of the way if you use them, or if they're over there, and then have the inner edge of the feet together. Lift the heart area. Tighten the kneecaps, draw the fronts of your thighs inwards. Gently tuck the tailbone in. Lift the bladder region up to the abdomen up to the diaphragm up to the collarbone. Draw your lower ribs towards the spine. Turn the palms all the way out, rotating the arms in the sockets. Lift your toes so that you really sharpen the action of your legs. Feel that you are a seedling poking out of the earth and reaching up towards the sun. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Stretch your arms forwards, interlock the fingers right into the webbing of the hands, turn the palms all the way out, and then raise your arms over your head. Squeeze the outer elbows in, push the palms to the ceiling, draw the shoulders down away from your ears. Just listen to the sound of the inhalation, the sound of the exhalation. Release your arms. Swap the interlock of the fingers, turn the palms all the way out, raise your arms up to the ceiling. Again, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards. Hitting the legs back so that your weight is in your heels, tuck the tailbone in. Release your arms, just stretch your arms down. Feel the warmth in your shoulders. Just bring the toes back down. Keep lifting out of the earth like you're rising up towards the sun. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards the chest, and then step or jump your feet nice and wide for trikonasana. Turn your left toes in, your right leg and foot all the way out, and then tighten your kneecaps. Tighten your kneecaps and turn the legs outwards, especially this front leg. Turn the thighs from the inside out. So you turn the thighs so that you bring the outside edge of the foot firmly down onto the floor. Do the same with the back leg. Reach over, keep the torso long as you reach down. Keep the right side of the torso as long as the left side. Bring your hand onto the shin, turn the abdomen up to the ceiling, turn the chest up to the ceiling, reach up. Just feel where the front leg buttock bone is in relation to that left foot. Sorry, that right foot. So the right buttock bone in relation to the right foot. Can you bring them into alignment with each other? Turn the chest up to face the ceiling. Just look down. Is your head directly over your foot? If it's not, then lift the chest a little more. Squeeze that front leg buttock bone in towards the front of the room. Hit that back leg towards the back of the room. Turn the head back up to the ceiling. Extend into both arms evenly. Reach up with the top hand, come back to the centre, and then swap the feet around. Turn the right toes in, the left leg and foot all the way out. Just feel that this left heel is in line with the instep or the toes of the back foot, never the heel. Have a quick look, make sure that that is indeed the case, and correct it if you need to. Keep the hips facing the front, spread the toes, turn the fronts of the thighs inwards, especially of this front leg. Keep this length in the left side as you reach over, finding the shin. Reach in from the heart area into both arms evenly. Look up, turn the abdomen to the ceiling, turn the chest to the ceiling. Feel where heels are in 3 dimensions. Feel where the front leg buttock bone is in relation to the left heel. Broaden from the heart area into both arms evenly. And then come back to the centre, bring the feet parallel, and then step or jump your feet back together. Just come back into Tadasana and observe how your energy feels, how your energy has changed. Just listen to the breath. Listen to the in-breath and the out-breath. Bring your arms out nice and wide. Actually, before you do that, just release your hands again. Have a block. So have it where you're not going to jump on it, but have one on both sides of the mat, on the back edge of your mat. You might need that. So we go into parsvakonasana. So make sure it's not somewhere that you're going to jump on, so you're not going to trip over it. Lift up into the chest, come back into Tadasana. Draw your attention back into the sensation of the physical body. Observe where there is consciousness. Observe where there isn't. Bring your arms out nice and wide into the chest, and then step or jump. Go a little wider than last time. So I always have to step up here because this floor isn't massively structurally sound, but just go, if you can jump, then go wide with the legs. So wide with the legs. Turn the left toes in slightly and the right leg and foot all the way out. Bring the hips to face the front. Tighten your kneecaps and turn the fronts of the thighs inwards, especially this front leg. Bring the chest to face the front, stretch out, and then keep the back leg straight, really tightened at the kneecap, and bend the front knee, stretching out. Find a right angle. Look over the middle finger of that right hand. Bend the knee, find a right angle. And then bring the left hand onto the hip and then reach down. Find the floor. If you can't find the floor, then use the block. The block always gives you extra space, so don't feel that you have to use the floor. So we're going to turn the abdomen up to face the ceiling, but sometimes that's quite difficult. So we're going to cheat a bit. I want you to bring the hand in front of on the big toe side of the leg, and then push the leg into the arm into the leg. And then you can much more consciously turn the chest, turn the abdomen, turn the chest and the abdomen up to the ceiling. And then bring the hand back to the little toe side, but keep that abdomen turning. Keep that back leg straight. And then stretch the top arm out. Now I run out of ceiling height a little, so it makes me go a bit out of line, but try and have a perfect line from this back leg all the way up into the top arm. Look underneath the armpit. Keep turning the abdomen and the chest towards the ceiling. Parsvakonasana. Okay, reach up with the top hand, come back to the center. Keep your arms outstretched. Bring the feet to face the front. Just feel the energy, how it has changed. Turn the right toes in, the left leg and foot all the way out. This time keep this right leg straight, tightened at the kneecap, and bend the left leg. Bend the left leg, look over the middle finger of that. Left hand, lift from the hips up into the armpits. Bend in that knee. So this femur bone is in a right angle with the shin bone. Bring the right hand onto the hip. Reach down, find the floor or the block. Bring the hand in front and really draw the abdomen up to the ceiling, keeping that back leg straight. Draw the top shoulder towards the wall behind you. Bring the hand back to the little toe side and then reach up and over. Looking underneath the armpit. Keeping the breath deep and soft. Reach up with the top hand, come back to the center, bring the feet parallel, and then step or jump the feet back together, and then come back into Tadasana. Now you may feel like you've really exerted, perhaps your breath feels deep. If you've got a bad back, find a tabletop or something to bring your hands forwards and stretch forwards into uttanasana that way. Otherwise, have the feet hip width apart, turn the toes in, hook the thumbs into the crease of the elbows, and then just hang down. Just to bring your energy back into alignment. Observe how you activate your legs. Does one leg feel kind of oddly more active than the other? Try and get the less active leg to mirror the more active leg. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Just letting your energy reset. And then release your hands down to the floor. Bend your knees if you need to, or walk your hands towards the end of the mat. And then have your hands shoulder width apart. Have the feet hip width apart, and then come back up into dog down. Again, make the legs mirror each other. The less willing following the more willing. Okay, come down onto your knees and then sit back on your heels for a moment. Sit back on your heels for a moment and observe how your energy has changed, the lightness of your energy. Observe the lightness of your energy. Focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Just letting your energy settle. Okay, come down onto your front. Just come onto your elbows and lay along your front. For bhujangasana, so it's a little back bend. If you've got a bad back, then with this particular back bend, it's all about trying to keep the tailbone turning in. So with your hands on your elbows, lift the chest and then feel that you can lengthen from the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, to the chin. And then consciously turn the tailbone in. If you're not sure how to do that, get a fist, push it into the sacrum spine, and then lengthen the sacrum spine down towards the feet. That's the action. That's the turning in action that we need. So just feel that you can turn the tailbone in so that the pelvis is flat on the floor. Feel how the pelvis connects to the ground because it needs to stay on the ground. So bhujangasana is sometimes known as the cobra, and the pelvis has to stay on the floor. That's the important thing, because when people do the cobra, they want to straighten their arms, but then the pelvis lifts, and then you've lost the grounding of the pose. So you can bring the toes together, or if you've got a bad back, you can have your feet slightly apart. Turn the tailbone in. Activate the kneecaps, tighten the kneecaps. Press the fronts of the thighs into the floor. Turn the tailbone in. Lift up into the abdomen. Abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, to the chin. Again, if you've got a bad back, you might just want to stay at this stage. This is the crocodile. Then you bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Keep the elbows into the sides of the body, and then keep the pelvis down. Push yourself up, but the pelvis needs to stay down. You don't necessarily straighten your arms. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Keep lengthening into the toes. Keep turning the tailbone in. Draw the abdomen up to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, to the chin. If you can, you reach your chin to the ceiling. And then gently come down. Just rest your head on one side and then let your arms flop into the floor. So again, some people can straighten their arms in that pose, but do you keep the front rim of the pelvis on the floor? Just feel where the pelvis is now. Feel that where that little front girdle of the pelvis is. Just feel with your hands where it is. That needs to stay down. So does it stay down if you straighten your arms? If it doesn't, then don't straighten your arms. Just flop into the floor. So bhujangasana, or the cobra pose, is often given to people who've got a slip disc. It helps to realign the discs. Okay, come back up onto your elbows. So pick up the whole leg, lengthen the leg, turn the front of the thigh inwards as you bring the leg down. Do the same with the other leg. Lengthen the leg, turn the front of the thigh inwards so that the backs of the thighs are broadening outwards. That action of turning the fronts of the thighs in, broadening the backs of the thighs, will pretty much stop you from clenching the buttocks. If you can still clench the buttocks, then turn the fronts of the thighs inwards a little more. Lengthen the tailbone down. So if you don't clench the buttocks, the tailbone's a bit freer. Lengthen the tailbone down towards the floor. And just at this stage, lift up into the chest. And then bring the hands in line with the shot underneath the shoulders. Keep the legs straight and then lengthen up. Lengthen the abdomen forwards, the diaphragm forwards, the shoulders forward. Breathe in through the nose, keep the pelvis down. Keep lengthening into the toes, keep the legs really firmly activated, pressing into the floor. Rotating the backs of the thighs outwards, tucking the tailbone in. Lifting the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, to the chin. And then gently release. Rest your head on the other side. And then flop into the floor. So one of the big benefits of back bending poses is energy. So you feel lots of energy as a result of bringing the body into a back bend. Push your hands into the floor, sit back on your heels. Just observe your energy. Observe the clarity of the light around you. And then come forwards, hinging at the hips, coming forwards into Adho Mukha. Virasana, just stretching forwards, pressing the arms into the floor. Have a little wriggle into the hips just to really work back into the hips. And then just lengthen yourself out. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, feeling that the pose is about extension. Just bring your arms to the sides of the body. For the traditional child's pose, this becomes much more passive, doesn't it? It becomes quite heavy on the forehead. That's quite nice in some ways for quietness. But it can feel heavy on the neck, it can feel strong in the neck. And if that's the case for you, then you lengthen, so you stay in child's pose, but lengthen from the shoulders consciously into the fingers, to the fingertips. Just so that you release the tension on the neck and release the pressure on the forehead a little. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and then push yourself up. Just come back up into a seated position. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Okay, I want you to sit on a couple of blocks. So sit on a couple of blocks, have the blocks between your 2 feet and then have the knees together. Get hold of the back of the calf at the top of the. Get hold of the back of the knee at the top of the calf, and then try and press that calf flesh away from the back of the knee, rolling it out to the side as you sit back down onto the blocks. Now, not everyone needs blocks in Virasana, so this is the kind of classical Virasana. The knees are together, the feet are apart. It's the other way around for kind of Adho Mukha Virasana, isn't it? But this is the kind of classical pose. It creates more compactness in the hips effectively. So just sit on whatever you need. Some people need more lift. Some people can just sit directly on the floor. But don't force yourself in or out. Just feel that you can just be in the pose. If this doesn't feel comfortable, then you can always get a belt, pull the belt into the uncomfortable knee, and then you pull it away as you sit back down, and then you can release it, and then that will give you a bit more space in the back of your knee. Alternatively, you can get a folded blanket, folded like this, and then you have to come onto your head a little, but bring the blanket right into the back of the knee, into the backs of the knees. Pull it towards you as you pull it away from you, sorry, as you sit back down, and then you sit back on the folded blanket. Gives you loads of freedom in the knees if there's discomfort in your knees. So this feels really nice, actually. It also stops your knees from pulling apart, so it's a useful one for if you're doing supta virasana, which we're not going to do. But so you can just find the version of virasana that kind of works for you. You don't want to kind of hurt your knees, that's the important thing. It's good for the flexibility of the knees, but you've got to be kind of kind and accommodating. So just use whichever version works best for you. Have your hands on your thighs and consciously lift the abdomen to the diaphragm. I don't mean pick it up from the outside. Do it from the inside. Lift the heart area up and draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Lengthen your arms out, interlock the fingers, and then turn the palms and raise your arms over your head. Squeeze the outer elbows in. Draw the shoulders down away from your ears. Broaden your armpits out to the sides of the room so you gather your shoulder blades together in order to do that. Feel that you can lift from the hips up into the armpits, into the elbows, into the wrists, into the palms, and then turn to the right side. Parsvakonasana. Come back to the center. Turn to the left. And then come back to the center and then release your arms. Just look at the way that you've interlocked your fingers and then swap it so that the other index finger is on the top of the stack. So the fingers are still on the backs of the hands, but the other finger is on the top of the stack. Turn the palms all the way out, reach up, lengthen from the armpits, lengthen from the hips into the armpits, into the palms, and again turn to the right. Come back to the center. And with an out breath, turn to the left. And then gently come back to the center. And then release your arms, release the hands, palms facing upwards. Just bring the tips of the index finger in contact with the tip of the thumb. Just close your eyes for a moment. Just feel the energy in the shoulders and around the spine. Just feel the lightness of your energy. Okay, after being in virasana for a little while, you'll appreciate a dog down. So just come up off your knees, or come up onto your knees even, and then I have to swizzle around a little. You can move the blocks out of the way. And then just turn your toes under. They might be a little reluctant, so just respect that. Your hands on the shoulder width apart, and then just come up into dog down. And although we normally resist it after virasana for any length of time, it's nice to just bring the heels down, even if other things go wrong. In the legs, you kind of tend to drop the legs. So stretching out the calf muscle feels really nice, doesn't it? So just bring the heels as close to the floor as you can. But the reason why we don't bring the heels down normally is because what you can probably see when your heels are down is creases at the fronts of at the bottom of the shin. So you really got to try and lift the shin, lift the kneecaps, lift the thighs all the way up until those creases disappear, which is very hard when the heels are down on the floor. Okay, then gently come down onto the floor. And then just sit back in uttanasana just for a moment. We're not going to stay very long, and then we'll use the bolster in a moment because Jill's got a new bolster and she wants to use it. So we'll use that in a moment. So it's not gone to waste, Jill, don't worry. Just let the body relax into virabhadrasana for a moment or two. Just letting the knees fall apart. And then bring the knees together. Lift the seat bones, slide the bolster underneath your lower back. Hold on to the bolster, pull your knees in towards your chest. And then elevate the legs up to the ceiling. Come onto the tops of your shoulders. So you gather the shoulder blades together. So you're not sinking in the chest. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Just focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate breaths. So we've worked pretty hard in the legs today. We've done some fairly intense stuff today. So this viparita karanhi just settles our energy, gives us a little inversion that helps to support the immune system. Just keep your attention in the physical body and the sensations of the physical body. Just observing how it feels to be upside down. It's only marginally upside down, of course, but nonetheless there is inversion there. Okay, bend your knees, bring your feet back down onto the floor. Lift the seat bones and remove the bolster up away from the legs, and then come onto your elbows. And then I want you to just put the bolster on top of your legs, on top of your thighs. So you've got some weight on your legs. Because we worked hard in the legs, it will help you to relax. Just make sure, be on your elbows, just make sure you're in a good straight line, have the heels together, let the feet fall apart. If your head rolls back, then put your folded blanket, oh, this is really badly folded, put your folded blanket underneath your head, supporting the back of your neck. And then allow the body to completely release into the ground. Just allow the body to completely release into the ground. Just focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Let go of the muscles of the arms and the legs. Unhook the muscles of the legs and the arms so that the body becomes heavy on the floor. Sometimes it's difficult to acknowledge the heaviness because perhaps there's an irrepressible lightness radiating from the bones and into the muscles. Radiating from the bones and into the muscles and into the organs. Feeling of lightness, of well-being, radiating from the bones into the muscles and into the organs. Just let that sensation of wellness radiate into the core of the organs. radiating from the bones and into the muscles and into the organs, into the flesh and the skin. Just using your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling of lightness down into the toes, into the fingertips and up into the top of the head. That feeling of energetic lightness. When you're ready to disturb yourself, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. Just remove the bolster off of your thighs and then bend your knees. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. Maybe bring the feet onto the floor. Have the feet apart, the knees together. Just resting your back into the floor for a moment. And then roll onto your right side. Stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg. Come back up into a seated position. Just a final cross legs with the hands in the masti. Sit on a lift if you need to. Close your eyes and draw your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the feeling of energy and well-being that you release through your practice. That feeling of energetic lightness that radiates from the core of your being. Draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy around the heart area. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. To people, to places, to things that need our positive energy. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open. Bring the palms down to the floor, palms facing upwards. Just connect the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb, just a gesture of wisdom, peacefulness, and physical intelligence we can bring into our day. So if you still have your head down, raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel that you've really given yourself a good energetic boost and you're ready to take on the day. So thank you very much for joining me.